it's not necessarily the sessions that are creating the permanency, it's you. I help in the sessions, but after that, like, it's you. I think that is just so empowering.
Lilli, welcome to Reset.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it is so good to have you here. I've been following you for a while online, and I feel like hypnosis is just a topic that a lot of the Reset listeners are going to be really curious about. Our minds can be either our biggest supporters in life or our biggest hurdles. So today we're going to dive deep into how do we use hypnosis to really alter our minds. For anyone that's meeting you for the first time, can you introduce yourself?
I can, absolutely. I am Lilli, everybody, and I am a hypnotherapist who practices conversational hypnosis, and I also teach conversational hypnosis to other practitioners and professionals, and I've been doing this for about 5 years now, which is crazy to me because it feels like not that long ago I was just like this scared little girl starting her business. But yeah, 5 years. I live on the Sunshine Coast and I mainly just work all online, which is, yeah, really freeing, and yeah, it's made for a really nice lifestyle.
I'm going to take it back a little bit. When I was younger, I went to a hypnotherapy show and it was one of those ones, like the stereotypical ones where they get all these people up on stage, they hypnotize them. There was people running around like quacking like ducks. I feel like none of your clients come to you and be like, hey, Lilli, teach me how to quack like a duck.
No, they don't.
Can you explain to us what is conversational hypnotherapy and what kind of things does it help with?
Absolutely. So I guess the first thing to say there was you went to a hypnosis show, not a hypnotherapy show. So the therapy point of hypnosis is where the major distinction between what I do or other hypnotherapy practitioners do and like the stage show. So the stage shows that you see are very real. I don't know too much about them because they're so different to what I do, but they are very real, and what they're doing is kind of like pre-testing people for suggestibility. So not everyone can get into those states that you see like quacking like a duck. I wouldn't even know how to do that. But what I do is the therapeutic model of hypnosis, and conversational hypnosis differs from, I guess, traditional hypnotherapy in the sense that we use in conversational hypnosis the natural state of hypnosis, which is just that little bit like slower brainwave that occurs in every conversation that we have, which is basically where we're just more slipping into that subconscious state, and we're utilizing those moments throughout our conversation to facilitate what we call like breakthrough moments or light bulb moments where things just shift. So all of the hypnosis just happens naturally through conversation. I love it because it's like it's so easy for the client. You know, they just have to have a conversation with me and I kind of do the rest. I guide it, I facilitate it. I am looking for very specific moments within our conversation to use. And what I'm looking for is when the client is talking more from that subconscious state, because we kind of go from a belief that all problems are stored within the subconscious mind, and they're also solved within the subconscious mind. So we're using those moments, and that's how we create the change.
This is good. This is good. And I feel like a lot of people are probably thinking, okay, wow, hypnosis is really powerful. How long does it take to get results?
So results can vary, but typically we see a lot of really, really great results within 3 sessions. Really, really good. I'll caveat with sometimes I do recommend a bit longer, more of like a 6-session package. But I guess in the scheme of things, it's really not very long. But the way I typically sort of, I guess, categorize it is I always probably recommend 6 sessions because I work a lot with eating disorders. So things like eating disorders, and I also work a lot with obsessive compulsive disorder. So things that are a little bit more complex in nature, or anything where there's, some significant trauma or complex trauma, I always recommend a little bit more. But I'm always surprised how quick we do get results. And the 3 sessions is probably like on average, what I do. So really quick in the scheme of things. And a lot of people, sometimes feel like, I've been in therapy for years, like 3 sessions, that doesn't seem like doable, or it seems too good to be true. And I say, like, I completely get that, but, let the results speak for themselves, because, yeah, we can really get it that quick.
How freaking cool. And I think a lot of the Reset listeners are busy people, and so making progress quickly is important to them. So you mentioned eating disorders, OCD. What other sorts of things do you help people with?
So I mainly work with anxiety, and that can be a range of different, anxieties, because anxiety manifests in different ways. I always kind of think of it like a tree with all its branches. It has like these roots, and that's kind of, all the same things, but they branch off in different ways. And depending on where we're at in our life or what we're going through, anxiety can show up in a bunch of different ways. So I deal with all sorts of anxieties. Eating disorders, I work a lot with, it's just happened this way because it's the most prominent eating disorder in Australia, but binge eating. That's my jam. And then sometimes I'll get, a random phobia or driving anxiety and, things like that, which I love working with. But I think when I tell people I'm a hypnotherapist, they say, oh, so you help people with smoking. And I think I've done maybe 1 smoking session in 5 years. So it's not where I gravitate towards. I really get a lot of satisfaction out of sort of the other areas, more mental health related. It just makes me feel just purposeful. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, that's so good. And are results permanent? Do they last forever?
Results are, like my initial instinct is to say, they are, but also things come up in life. Things can be triggered. Say we get really good results, but then you go and do completely destructive things and live a completely destructive life. We're probably going to go backwards. But I think the reason as to why the results, are really long-term is because of the progress that we make in the sessions. You are then, naturally inclined to create better and better resources for yourself. So, when we feel better about ourselves or a situation, we're more inclined to do better and better things for ourselves. So it's not necessarily the sessions that are creating the permanency. It's you and what you've been able to create within you in your kind of like inner toolbox for, maintaining those results, whether it's, personal or it's reaching out for, connections and broadening your social sphere or whatever that is. It's just through those inner resources, which is one of the most exciting parts about it. It's like, it's all you. I help in the sessions, but after that, like, it's you. And I think that is just so empowering.
Lilli, you've supported over 300 clients, and you also train other professionals to use hypnosis as a technique with their clients. Can you talk to me about some of the epic client wins that you've had?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like the obvious ones that come to me are, like the eating disorder related ones. And the reason that is I had an eating disorder as a teenager. So it's very close to my heart, and hypnotherapy is what helped me so much. So being able to help people in that way, that's never going to wear off how good that feels. So those are the kind of the ones that immediately pop up for me. So recently I've been helping a lot of women with binge eating disorder and just getting them to a place where this thing is consuming their life completely. And I think as people that aren't suffering with that, it's easy to sort of say or minimize the problem. But when you are struggling with an eating disorder of any kind, it's like every second of every day, your thoughts are there. So to be able to get people to a place where that's just not their reality anymore is so rewarding, and that's pretty consistent in my work, which is really exciting. You know, we're getting those results like every week, which is just feels so, so good. So those are like the obvious ones, I think. But then, so I mostly work with women, but I've actually had a few men come to me, and all with relationship anxiety. And sort of a lesser known but really important one to talk about is relationship OCD, where thoughts can be really, really consuming about the relationship, and it can, you know, if it's not sort of dealt with, can completely destruct a relationship. So I've had a couple men come to me, and just I don't advertise to men, but the ones that do come to me are always so lovely. I think it's like if they know I mostly work with women, but they're still like willing to come to me, I'm all for it, and they're always so, so lovely. But we've had like really, really good results where it's, you know, saved their relationship, which has been really special. And, you know, also a man recently who has gone through a really big breakup and is totally, you know, heartbroken when it's at a place where his self-worth was just like nothing, zero. And he texted me only like a few days ago just saying, I don't know what you're doing, but this is phenomenal and I feel so amazing. So those are the ones that kind of just like stand out a little bit because it's a bit different, but it just feels so good. And then I know you work a lot with, you know, corporate women in your retreats. I work a lot with corporate women as well because, of course, burnout and stress and parenting and relationships all wrapped up in one is such a toll on your mental health. So working with corporate women really excites me because I love a corporate woman. I think it's like just so badass and so cool. And yeah, helping them get to a place where they feel like they can have this balance and they're able to kind of approach things in a way of, you know, they don't have to burn out is really rewarding too, because, you know, I think as women that, you know, are working hard, we really can struggle. But when we have those tools, it's just so empowering, and being able to help women like that makes me so happy.
Oh, amazing. And what's the process? So if a new client comes to you, what is the kind of onboarding process? What do they go through? What's involved?
Yeah, so basically I always offer a discovery call, and I always recommend that people do that before actually booking in with me. So they'll go on my website, they'll book in a free 20-minute discovery call. On that call, we're kind of just getting to know each other, and I'm getting to know a little bit about what's going on for them, and I can ask some, you know, really important questions as to whether or not this is in my scope and whether or not I can help you and feel comfortable and confident doing that, especially because I do know that, you know, spending money, especially, you know, cost of living, it's a lot. I want to be really, really confident that if you're spending money on our sessions, that I can get you the results and feel really confident doing that. So I'll ask a few questions. We'll just have a chat, have them, you know, feel really confident in me. I actually think that's one of the most important parts, and something that I teach my students who I train is having your clients feel really confident in you and what you can do for them before they get in the session. So before it's even started is a huge part of the results that they'll get. If they go in thinking, I'm getting results here, like I am going to get results, this is going to help me so much, they will get the results. They really will. So that pre-call is actually already part of the process. And yeah, it's just a really good way for us to get to know each other. I also feel like you can tell a lot by voice You know, you can tell like maybe a kind voice, or you can just see if you gel with someone. So yeah, that's like the onboarding process. And then from there, I'll kind of decide whether or not I think, you know, a 3-session package or a 6-session package will be appropriate. And then we just book them in. And usually it's about, you know, a week or two, you know, waiting, but sometimes something will free up and we'll just go straight in. But yeah, it's really, really simple. I think that's one of the biggest things for me, is to keep things really simple in onboarding, in admin, in sessions, in everything, because, you know, you would know as a business owner, you have to do everything. And to keep it as simple for me as possible is really, really good.
And from a client perspective as well, like no one wants life to be even more complicated than it needs to be. We talked at the start about the people that get on stage and quack like a duck, and sort of certain personality types that might be more, I guess, able to be hypnotized than others. Talk us through who might be a good candidate.
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. So for that type of hypnosis, it would be the type of person, I guess, that is, you know, maybe a bit open-minded and kind of can relax a little bit. And, you know, so probably someone that can kind of, you know, get into meditation quite quickly, or someone that can kind of, you know, free their mind quite quickly and easily, and I guess be more open to it. That I find was a bit of a barrier at the start of my business, people saying, you know, will I be able to get into, you know, the hypnotic state? And there's a big difference between like stage hypnosis and the state of hypnosis that you get under, as opposed to hypnotherapy, whereas that's actually just a relaxed state. You know, it's very calm. You remember everything. You can't say anything or do anything that you don't want to. You know, we're speaking the whole time kind of thing. So that's in that more traditional sense of hypnotherapy. Anyone can really get into that state. And then particularly within conversational hypnosis, every single one of us dips in and out of a hypnotic state in every conversation. You know, we're both doing it now in different moments. So anyone can do that, because what I'm doing in sessions is I'm just looking for those little moments. You don't even know they're happening, and I'm using them. And we're creating like doorways with them as to, okay, where is this problem? And each subconscious moment opens another doorway. So anyone can do that. But with the more stage hypnosis, it's like, okay, we need to do these suggestibility tests to see who is going to be able to do it. But if you are listening to this and you're worried that you know, wouldn't be able to get benefits from hypnotherapy, you absolutely would, because it's just a light state of relaxation.
I think this has been a really important part of this conversation, because I feel like there's movies and there's sort of these rumors that go around that if you're working with a hypnotherapist, that you're not going to remember the session, you're going to say and do things that maybe you don't want to. And so it's really good to know that that's actually not reality, and you are in control and you will remember what's happening. And so therefore you are in such a safe environment.
Yeah, and the safety aspect of it is so important when dealing with like any kind of mental health or just problems in general. And a key point there as well, I'm so glad you said that, is like it's important that you remember our sessions, because there's so many insights, there's so many changes, perspective and breakthroughs that we create. I don't want you to forget that. Like I want you to keep that with you. So yeah, remember everything. In like a hypnosis session that's more traditional in the sense of maybe it's a smoking session or something like that, that's a little bit different in the sense that you're not really communicating. They're just kind of speaking metaphors and things into your subconscious mind, and things are kind of changing from there, which not everyone is, you know, susceptible to and suggestible to. But within, sessions with me, it's totally not like that at all.
One of my best friends, she hates coriander. She's on that spectrum of hating coriander. And I used to joke with her, but only half joke. And I was like, oh, you should get hypnotized so you like it. And then we can, eat all the Vietnamese food we want.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Would that actually work? And I hope she's listening.
Hello. It is a thing for sure. What she would do, I would recommend, is go and see a traditional hypnotherapist that would more, I guess, just kind of do what I said before of like get you into a really deep state and, do some metaphors and some positive kind of affirmations and rewire kind of the feelings towards coriander. With a session with me, it would be, okay, so, let's get to the bottom of this. What's the deal with the coriander? But things like that are just like, that's a chemical thing. I would not be your first point of call. But yeah, traditional hypnotherapy could definitely help with that.
I love that. Okay, thank you. What are some of the weirdest things people have asked you to help with?
Yeah. So I am really lucky in the sense that I just seem to attract really epic clients. So mostly the people that come to me are wanting to work on, the things that I work with. I've had a couple funny ones. I got a message the other day saying, can you help me manifest bigger boobs? I was like, look, if I could, I'd be doing it myself, okay?
Me too.
Yeah. I could make a lot of money doing that. And then I've actually had a few that is like people going through a breakup and can you help me forget this person completely and da-da-da-da-da. So like weird ones like that. And I'm like, I can help you feel really, really confident in the boobs that you have. Or I can help you get to a place where you feel really strong within yourself about the breakup, but I can't make you forget them or like do magic. And I think a lot of people kind of have that perception of hypnosis that it's like, it's magic. I can, I'll click my fingers and I'll forget so-and-so or, just kind of really fantasy kind of things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's some weird ones. And then I've got some weird calls before and yeah, there's definitely some weird ones, but mostly I attract the coolest clients. I don't know how. They're just so, we all just like in sessions we jump on. However, I'll have clients like rock up in their pajamas. I've had a client rock up in her sports bra. She just finished like a workout. I'll like have a towel on my head. Like it's like such a safe space, I think. And I attract, I think, clients that are just so cool with that. And it makes it feel really, really nice and just like, okay, this is a safe space. Let's just get into it. So yeah, I think I've been very lucky in that way because I think a lot of other therapists or hypnotherapists or anyone have, probably not been as lucky in that way.
Do you work with majority of your clients online? So I guess in theory you could service clients all around the world.
Yeah. So my partner and I actually did a lap of Australia and we just had a little van and I was working out of the van the whole year, which was pretty amazing. And yeah, whenever like if we go on a holiday or something, like I can work a little bit. It's really, really freeing. Some clients, initially have reservations about working online. And I always say, that's totally fine. If, you want to see someone in person, that's absolutely fine. But I actually find it more effective because I think when people are in their own space and there's that little bit of a distance, they can open up a little bit more and feel a little bit more safe to share. And also, as soon as they shut, the computer, they can just be in their own safe space. Sometimes, you're quite emotional after, so you don't have to drive anywhere. I find it's really, really just such a freeing and flexible way to do it. I have clients that do it in their car because their kids are in the house, or people that do it on their lunch breaks or whatever. So I think it's good for client and practitioner, but I'm so grateful for online work. It's massively changed the game. And I wouldn't have a business if it was just people on the Sunshine Coast. So it's changed my life massively.
Yeah, and from a client perspective, it doesn't matter if you're in a remote rural town or a different city or anything. It just makes it so accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have clients in Tokyo and in New Zealand and LA and all over that can access the care that they want, and it doesn't matter distance. I think there's a lot of negative to be said about technology and social media and everything, and I totally subscribe to that. But there are some really, really good aspects as well. And yeah, I feel really lucky to be able to work online.
Yeah, and you train others to use hypnosis. Can you talk to me about some of the students you've had, what industries they're from, how they've started using it, like what's the process? Tell me everything, because I feel like there's going to be some people listening that are psychologists or they work in different, maybe even marketing and things like that are like, oh, maybe I want to learn this. Talk to me about it.
Absolutely. It's quickly becoming like my favorite part of what I do. So I currently have in my course counselors, I have nutritionists, dietitians, kinesiologists, just coaches. I actually started the course because I wanted to help initially nutritionists and dietitians, because obviously they work a lot with eating disorder clients. And I remember when I was struggling with an eating disorder, I would see a dietitian and she gave me everything that I needed to do, all of the right tools, but my mind wasn't there. And so I wouldn't really do the things that she said, and she couldn't really crack me, break through with me, because I just wasn't there yet. So I felt that was a real gap that needed to be filled, in the sense of, if a dietitian or a nutritionist could use conversational hypnosis with their clients, they're going to be able to get better results, faster results, and I guess in essence maybe, feel more fulfilled as well, because they're getting their clients there. So that was the initial idea. But I find that the students that come to me are, practitioners that are just wanting to broaden what they can do, but also ones that find that they get stuck with their clients, or they've used all their tools and they just can't break through, because maybe what their client is experiencing is on that little bit of a deeper level. And the great thing about conversational hypnosis is that they can weave it into their sessions. Mm-hmm. So they don't have to say, okay, we're doing hypnotherapy now and close your eyes and da-da-da-da. It's just tools that they can use to get that bit deeper with their clients. So the students that have come to me have really said how much it's I guess just improved their client results because they're able to get there. But I think it's honestly for anyone that works with clients or other people and just want to break through with them and get that little bit deeper. It's just, it's such a cool technique, and I love teaching it, and it's really easy to catch on to as well. Once you know the framework, once you know how to do it, and just the little subtleties, it's really easy to weave into what you do. So yeah, I love it. It's my favorite part of my job.
And what's the process? So when a new student signs up, how long does it take them to kind of master the art before they can start using it themselves?
That's a good question. So you can sign up, and then basically you have access to all the recorded trainings. So you can start learning straight away. And typically we do the trainings over 2 days. So the live trainings happen every 12 weeks. And basically when you sign up, you get access to all the recorded trainings, but then you get access to all of the future live trainings. So you can just keep coming and keep learning. The recorded trainings are really good for like the framework and the theory. And then the live trainings are really good because we do demos and we're practicing on each other and you're like really stepping in and learning it in a really, really practical way. It's really interactive. You know, we have a Facebook group where I have clients that just practice on each other. So you're kind of getting like, you know, free therapy through practice, which is really cool. But yeah, so 2-day live course, but you can just start learning whenever. And it's really quick. Like I had a nutritionist the other day. She signed up. She started using it like 4 days later. And, you know, if you can grasp it that quickly, you can start using it. It's just another tool to add to your toolbox and, yeah, just to help. So, yeah, I love it.
So cool. And can the results be reversed?
It's such an interesting question. I think with the type of sessions that we do, they could be reversed in the sense of, like we said before, like you go away and you know, start getting into some really destructive patterns, or you have, you know, maybe big life events that, you know, you then kind of revert back. But I wouldn't say they can be reversed in a sense. And I think like the changes that we make within sessions, they're not things that you would want to reverse. Like they're all really, really positive things, really uplifting and empowering things. So yeah, but like say it was like for smoking or something like that, like I'm sure it could be reversed, but not really in what I do. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to come to you that's quit smoking and be like, oh, by the way, can you make me addicted again?
Yeah, I can bring back my anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Is there anything we haven't spoken about today that you wish more people knew?
I think like my, I guess, big message that like I want to give people is that there is so much help out there. If you're struggling, there's so much help. And I know there's these traditional forms of therapy that we're all, I guess, you know, ingrained to go towards. But if that's not working for you and you're not getting the results from that, I would encourage you to branch out and try something like conversational hypnosis. If you feel that it's that little bit deeper, I think a lot of the time we can just get stuck in, well, this is what everyone says to do. It's not working for me, but I'll just keep doing it. Yeah, there's so much hope out there. And if it's not, you know, what I do, maybe it's something else. But just keep trying because there will be something for you that really, really helps you. And, you know, there's so much light at the end of the tunnel with mental health and so many possibilities and opportunities. So just keep going. That's what I did. And now I help people who were struggling with what I was struggling with. So that is possible for everyone. And maybe you're listening to this thinking, yeah, you know, it's possible for others, but not for me. It's available to everyone. And I've had clients that have struggled with what they're struggling with for years, decades. I have 50-year-old women, 60-year-old women come to me who've been struggling with what they're struggling with for their whole life. And we make those changes. So it's never too late. And yeah, just keep that hope up and just keep striving. And yeah, if you're also a professional and you're like, I want to get those results for my clients, I want to just deepen that for them, you absolutely can. And yeah, it's exciting.
I think a lot of people listening that do work with clients will probably resonate with that passion to just help and make that breakthrough. And I think this is a beautiful tool that so many of them could add to their toolkit to just make those transformations happen faster.
Yeah. And I think that's like the beautiful thing about people that work with clients is that they just want to help. And I know it can feel so frustrating when you're just like, you're not getting there. And having more and more tools is just only going to help that. So yeah, I would encourage you to just have a look or just reach out to me. We can have a chat. It really makes me excited because to be able to help other practitioners with their clients, that just kind of makes me feel really purposeful in that sense, and to know that they're helping their clients really thoroughly in that way is really cool. And, you know, the more that we all help, the better everyone is. And, you know, I'm all about supporting other therapists and just like building everyone up, because the more we do that, you know, more and more people are getting helped. And yeah, that's just like the overall goal. So yeah.
You've really set up your business to be able to initially help clients one-on-one and then to train other practitioners, which really amplifies your reach into the world, which is so special. But what do you do when life gets crazy busy? How do you reset?
Oh, it's such a good question. So a big thing for me is family. So I'm really, really close with my family. And if I'm ever like burning out, I will reach out to them, probably my mum, and have just like a big vent that kind of really just resets me, gets me back on course. But then for me, meditation is a big part of my life and something that's really, really helped me. So I will always, if I'm typically burnt out, it's probably because I'm not meditating enough. So meditation, and I live by the beach, which I'm so grateful for. Having a swim, washing it all off, and just resetting. It's literally like I'm pressing a reset button. It's the best. So yeah, that's what I do. Very simple, but yeah, so good.
The ocean is such a powerful healer. It's so blessed to also live near the beach. But I know that anyone that doesn't, as soon as they go on holidays, if they can just get by the ocean, they just feel like a different version of themselves.
Yeah, it's healing. Hey, my mum has kind of like instilled that in me. She's like, just wash it off in the ocean, wash it off. And it's literally like it's doing that.
We won't question it too much.
Yeah,
I know
don't question it.
Blue mind theory has been researched. Like, it's all backed by science, but like, just go with it, get in the ocean. Yeah. Is there a book that you think more people should have on their shelves?
Oh, there's so many books. I was really lucky growing up. So my mum worked in a bookshop, so she would always bring books home. So I've got so many books that I absolutely love, but I'll go with one that I've read really recently that has just been so powerful for me. It is called, and I can't remember who wrote it, but it's called Into the Magic Shop. And it is amazing. It is all about neuroplasticity and rewiring those neural pathways and exactly how to do that. There's a bit of manifestation in there and really, really just great techniques for meditation, but it's not even really, you know, meditation in the, I guess, cliche form of it. It's, okay, like this is exactly how you relax your whole body in order to relax your mind. And it's step by step, and there's a beautiful story there as well. It has really, really been a game changer for me just going into 2025. So that's a really good one. And then I'll also say Letting Go by David Hawkins, I think, is also a really good one. So if you're into kind of mindfulness and neuroplasticity, those two are really, really good.
We will link those in the show notes for everyone. I will also link to your Instagram and your website in the show notes. But is there anything else you would love to tell people before we switch off for the day?
I think that's honestly it. And I'm so grateful to have had the chance to chat to you. And yeah, all of you listening, thanks for listening. But yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, Lilli, thank you for joining me on Reset.
Oh, thank you.